Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good night. Whenever it is that you're listening to this, welcome to the Orchids podcast. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to episode 2, season 4. It's kind of crazy. I'm really glad you decided to come back after the first episode. I don't actually know how, this is planned out or anything because we're filming this and episode 1 hasn't come out yet. But in advance, I do hope that you like it. And I hope that you guys have been having a great week because I don't know about you, but for me, it was great, but kind of hectic, getting into the rhythm of things, getting into the routine, and kind of finding where the vibe is. You know what I mean? Kind of finding where I feel good, where I feel settled, and actually feeling good into that routine. Which is actually why I thought about this episode, finding your purpose. Because I feel like, especially when I started out this podcast, the idea was being in your early 20s, mid 20s, kind of in that soft spot where you're still trying to figure out who you are, where you're still trying to discover a lot of things about yourself, because I feel like the 20s are just a strange period. I think I've said this before, but if you guys have ever heard how your 20s are kind of like the toddler or like the baby stage of adulthood. So when you turn 20, it's kind of, it's like you're 1 year old and then like so on. That's kind of how I feel, where when you're in your 20s, you're kind of juggling this weird, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know how I feel. I'm trying to discover who I am, what I feel about myself. And there's so many factors that are just strange or just make us feel a little strange, because it's not that it's it is out of your control. It's out of my control. I don't know about you. But there's a lot of things that you, quote unquote, can semi-control. Things like, I don't know, school, work, your relationships, how you feel about yourself, what your identity is. There's so many niche little factors that are unique to yourself that nobody can be like, oh, by the way, here's what you should do, here's how you should feel. It's just kind of you working out your own ideas, which is why it's really strange. And finding your purpose in your 20s, or what you want to do with your life, the things that make you happy, the things that fulfill you, is kind of strange. It's a little bit overwhelming because of what I just said, because it's so unique to you. Normally, my advice would be find what makes you happy. Except when you're in your 20s, a lot of random different things can make you happy. And it can kind of be an all over the place kind of thing. So my advice to you now is take it step by step. Because it's really easy to get kind of jumbled up in, oh, I need to be doing this, or oh, look what she's doing, or look what he's doing, and I should be doing A, B, and C, and setting unrealistic goals for yourself about what your life should look like, when in reality the thing that you need to be doing is looking forward with every step that you take, figuring out, hey, this is what I like. Maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe my entire purpose shouldn't be pleasing other people, but that's a different episode. But what I mean is not always being so afraid to take that step, because that step is going to be permanent, and if I do this, I have to stick with this for the rest of my life, because that's kind of not what it is. Kind of like this podcast, the entire thing is about making mistakes and about figuring out what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Now, that's one side of the coin, where you should allow yourself to make mistakes. You should allow yourself to explore and discover. There's a lot of joy in discovering and exploring the things that fulfill you. But there is another side to the coin where the thing that fulfills you, and let's be honest, is God. Because yes, and I learned this the hard way, you could find a bunch of different things that will fill you up. You could find so many things that give you purpose or that you think make you happy in life. And then at the end of the day, you're feeling this weird thing of, isn't there more? Or isn't, like, shouldn't I be doing something else? Because I felt like that a lot. And I think I mentioned that a lot in like the earlier episodes in like different seasons, where, I mean, I do think it's okay to feel lost and to try to rediscover the things that you like. But I also think that until you realize that you need to fill yourself with God and you need to fill your life with Jesus and his word, those things are not ever going to fill you up. And I have to be so honest. Let me hold your hand when I say this. The thing that you need is Jesus. Because I thought about that a lot. And I listened to some of the earlier episodes where I felt really lost. And I even read some of my journals, which I recommend. I recommend you go do it with some tissues, because you'll need them. But I was reading so many things where I was like, I feel lost. I feel like I have no idea what the heck I'm doing. Girl, of course you don't. Because I didn't have a clear picture of what God's will for my life was. Because I never asked. Because I never actually sought out God in this intentional, specific way where I would ask, hey, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? What is it that your word says I should be doing? And so looking at where my life is now and how I feel now, and I feel like such peace and a sense of calm with where I'm at, that I felt like I really trusted God with that. I had to lay it down, everything. So as I was saying, in episode 1, how, my life changed so much. I had to change so many things about myself, like how I originally had a deep passion for acting, and there was so many plans that I had for my life. I felt that that was my purpose. I felt that that's what I wanted to do. I had a clear vision of what my life would look like in 5 to 10 years. I knew specifically what I wanted, or I thought I did. And so when I actually sat down and I asked God, what is my life supposed to look like? Because even though I really love acting, I was with people that I, enjoyed being around. I was doing a lot of things that brought me some sort of happiness, some sort of joy. I sat down at the end of the day and I was like, this is not making me happy. I guess when I'm doing it in the moment, sure, it's fun and everything. And if I think about it, I am fulfilling some sort of dream that I've always had. So I'm supposed to be happy. But when I actually sat down and I was like, God, I'm doing all these things. I don't really know why they're not filling me. Well, the answer was, you're filling yourself with the things of the world. Because the world is really good at that. Everybody, outside is really good at telling you what's supposed to make you happy. And they're really good at giving you a list, like, oh, you're supposed to be doing this by the time you're 22. And then when you're 25, you have to, get a house and a job and get married and have kids. There's so many things that people out there are willing to tell you and fill you with and give you advice on what you're supposed to be doing. The world is really good at telling you that it will fill you, that it'll give you all of these things, and it'll give you all the things that supposed to make you happy, and it'll give you money and a job and friends and whatever. And then you sit down and you're like, okay, I'll take it. I'll like fill me up with all these things. I'll give it to me. Give me the job in corporate that I hate, but it gives me money. Give me the friends that don't really click with me, but you know, at least I'm surrounded with people. Give me all the things. Give me, you know, the parties and the staying out until 3 a.m. Give me the car and give me the this and that and let me move abroad and give me all of these things. But I feel empty. Why do I feel empty? Oh, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. Maybe I'm supposed to get married. Maybe it's me. Maybe I haven't studied enough. Girl, sit down. Sit down. Because at the end, it's not about you. I mean, of course, it's about you in the sense that it's your life. And I do think that God wants us to find a certain fulfillment in Him and His will. I do think that He wants us to be happy. Because at the end of the day, He's your Father. I don't think there's any good parent out here that wants us to feel empty with all of these things. But there's a specific verse in Romans 12:2. Let me see. Yeah. Romans 12:2, and I'll read it to you. Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve that God's will is good, pleasing, and perfect. So what does that mean? I mean, what does it mean to follow God's will? What do you mean God's will is perfect? Well, we know that God is perfect. And we know that He does all of these things. I mean, He sent His Son, which He loved dearly, so that you could be free. So that your soul wouldn't be locked up, and so that you could spend all of eternity with Him. He did that for you. And best believe and understand that Jesus saw all of you. He saw me, He saw you. He saw that we make a lot of mistakes. He saw that a lot of times we don't choose Him. He sees that a lot of the times when we pick this up, we don't actually want to hear what it says. He sees that. He understands exactly who you are. And He decided to die for you anyway? That sounds like a perfect love to me. That sounds like a perfect will to me. The fact that He gives you all this grace. He gives you all this room and all this love and all this mercy, so that when you are looking for Him, when you finally decide, hey, what am I supposed to be doing? He can hold your hand through it, and He can tell you, it's right here. He can tell you exactly, because I've literally opened this so many times and I found exactly word for word what I'm supposed to be doing. And so my point here is, because I get carried away, because I get excited, but my point here is we have to take a step back from all of the things of the world, even if we think it does make us happy, to talk to God, to have that relationship with Him where He can tell you exactly word for word what it is that you need. And I think the problem, I mean, I face this problem, a lot of my friends face this problem. I'm sure a lot of it, you don't necessarily have to be a baby Christian. I think this is a problem in general because of all of our preoccupations, because of all of our dreams and needs and desires. We don't actually take the time to establish a firm relationship with Jesus. We don't actually take the time to say, hey, Dad, what's my purpose? You know? Holy Spirit, could you guide me with A, B, and C? We don't actually spend time in stillness in His presence because we're so focused on finding our purpose in the world and figuring out what other people want us to do. The truth is, it's not enough to just believe in Jesus or to just feel that you're a good person or think that you're on the right path because you're doing what feels good. Because I've been there, and a lot of people have been there. And for me specifically, I realized it doesn't matter if what you feel is good or good enough. If you don't have that firm foundation of Jesus, I mean, nothing else really, it won't fall into place. It won't actually, there's a specific verse that I'm looking for in my head where it's, and it's Psalm 127:1. And it's, unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the guards stand watch in vain. What does that mean? It basically means, unless we do the things for the Lord, unless we walk in his purpose, unless we speak to him and do his will and carry it out, nothing that we do will actually have purpose. The things that we do, because it's what makes us feel good, it's all in vain. It doesn't, I'm sorry to tell you that it doesn't matter, but in the grand scheme of things, in heavenly things, it doesn't. You know, unless we follow what Jesus left us and what he asked us to do and how he asked us to live, it doesn't really matter. You know, being a good person, the things that you do, it doesn't matter all that much if it's not pleasing to God. If it, you know, if you're not carrying out his commands, and this is difficult even for me. Let me just make this super clear. I am saying this out of experience, not because I do this every single time, not because I am the perfect Christian, which by the way doesn't exist, not because I've already done it and I already know when I'm lecturing you. No, I'm saying this because I learned it the hard way, because I was doing all these things and at the end of the day it didn't matter. It didn't actually fulfill me. It didn't actually do anything. There is a God-shaped hole inside you. I want you to imagine what your soul looks like, or just imagine your body. There is a God-shaped hole straight in the middle, and you keep shoving things in there, and you keep trying to do all these things. It doesn't actually fill it. It just goes straight through. Unless you say, hey, Jesus, I need you to fill this hole. I need your spirit to dwell among me. I need to dwell in your presence. It's kind of like, you know, in the movies when you see a person who's a ghost. We don't believe in that. But for this purpose, when you see somebody who's a ghost and they go like through walls and they just walk like through things and somebody throws something at them and it goes straight through, that's what the world is to you. The world goes through you. It will not stay in you. I hope. Nothing will actually be permanent except the things of the Spirit, except the things of heaven, of the things above. And that's exactly why Matthew says, or is it Matthew? It's one of the Gospels where it says, seek first the things of heaven and everything will come after. That is literally how we find our purpose in life. We seek after God. We find this deep need and this deep passion for the Lord of all things, for the person who created you. And then all these little things start to fall into place. And I'm telling you from experience, by far, one of the most beautiful things is to see God working things out in your life after you surrendered them. After you're like, I don't actually know what's going on. None of these things are in my control. I don't actually know what I like, who I am. I don't know, God, but I'm giving it to you. I'm surrendering it to you, and you can do whatever you want. You can act out. You can put your hands on it. You can guide me and lead me as your vessel to do whatever. And then you wake up one day and you start to see all these little things aligning. You start to see God working in the smallest and beautiful, most beautiful ways. And you're like, wow, that wasn't me. None of these things are because of my strength and because of my will. Best feeling, I promise. Try it out. Come back to me and let me know. Because I love just seeing the way that God works things out. Seeing the way when you follow his perfect will, when you're not doing what feels good, but what he's asking. Best thing ever. Because it gives you a sense of peace. It gives you a sense of stillness that nobody else in this world can give you. And let me tell you, if the world didn't give it to you, it can't take it away. When you feel that joy of the Spirit, when you feel a sense of purpose in what you're doing, God gave that to you. Only God could take it away. Try it out. And see how you feel. Because one thing I know for sure, the Lord has such a beautiful way of transforming you, of changing about your life. He is the God of second chances and new opportunities. And we are transformed and renewed by Jesus and only Jesus. It is when you accept his love, when you accept his sacrifice, when you accept him for what he's trying to be in your life, which is the one and only God in your life, it gives you such a light that I can't explain. But when you find it, when you actually feel this purpose, which is actually just God, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. So that's the one thing that I really hope for all of you listening. That's what I hope for myself, is to be able to find that spot where I am a pleasing aroma to God, where I am surrounded by people who are also pleasing to him. So, another thing will be trying to find your identity, because part of it is discovering your purpose, but a huge part of that is also discovering who you are as a person. Not just as a Christian, I just mean as a person in general. Who are you? What are you made of? What are the things that make you tick? What are the things that you love? And that's also an identity rooted in Christ. But that is for next week's episode. So if you want to hear more about that, I suggest you come back, because I'll be excited to see you. But yeah, I hope that this was helpful. And truly, again, I say this because I'm also working it out in real time. The way that you see me telling y'all all of this stuff, it's me literally journaling and working it out and being like, I have no idea. But that's the great thing about it, is building community so that we can figure it out together. So until next time, I love you guys. I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that you joined me. And I hope to see you next week. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your week. Be kind to yourselves. Take it slowly. Like I said, one step at a time. But I'll see ya. Bye, guys.